Hey everyone, this is Dave again with Equity Real Estate, and I'm going to be talking about um, becoming happy again. Um, um, Actually, I need to read this because my daughter asked me to talk about this. I'm going to talk about becoming, but talking about being happy when negative things happen. So, just barely started this, so I'll wait for a few more people to jump online. It's just barely after 4 o'clock. So, those that are on, give me a thumbs up so I know you're watching and paying attention. So, how was everybody's Christmas holiday and New Year's? Was it awesome? Mine was. So, give it one more minute. I think there might be a problem with Facebook Live. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Or post a comment. Awesome. Thanks, Jason. So I know some of my other friends doing Facebook Live were having problems today too. So, okay. Looks like we're getting a few more people on here. So I'm going to talk about becoming positive when negative things happen. First of all, I want to thank everybody for watching. It's not very easy to get on a social media, and it's one thing to do videos and post them, but it's another to do a live video because, sorry about that. I had a phone call and had to put them off for a minute. So, first of all, everybody in this world at the beginning of the new year makes New Year's resolutions. The problem with New Year's resolutions is you make them, and 2 or 3 weeks later, if you're lucky, you make it to 3 weeks, you quit doing it. And it could be going to the gym, it could be better eating, it could be watching your money, it could be many different things. But we always slow down and stop doing that just a couple weeks after. And why is that? It's because we don't really focus on it. If we don't write it down, if we don't put it in a place that we'll see it, that goal just becomes a wish. So let me get rid of this message real quick. So one thing that I very, very strongly talk about is vision boards. And if you put your goal on the vision board, and you can actually go back on my YouTube, excuse me, I posted my video that I did a couple weeks ago of making and achieving goals, and it talks about vision goals. So you can catch up a little bit of what I'm saying, but make sure you put your vision goal or your ultimate goals that you want to accomplish on that vision board so you can actually see them and accomplish them. And then when you accomplish it, celebrate, have a party. And sorry, it was actually, I said vision bowls, but anyway, thanks, Nicole. But vision boards and vision goals. So, and they really do help. I have my vision board in my bedroom hanging on my wall, and every morning I see it, and every night I see it. It's the first and last thing that I see, and it just keeps those goals in my mind. And this year, I have a hefty goal with my real estate to sell or have 30 transactions, and I know it can happen. I ended 2016 with 20, so I just need 10 more for an increase of 10 more, and I know it can happen. So, but now to go on to what I was going to talk about is becoming, and everybody has the goal of being happy. They want to be happy and feel that deep inside joy, but nobody really knows how to be happy. And that's where a lot of divorces come into play. And depression, and especially during the Christmas holiday, that's the number one depression time because, I mean, people lose out on a lot of things. They're not happy. Suicides are very high during Christmas time. And that's when we should be the happiest. It's the best time of year. And I might go sing that song now. But anyway, I've talked about this before. And you have to have a couple positive things within just yourself to be able to move forward. And the first is you have to have a good image about yourself. If you have a negative image about yourself, you're going to go downhill. You're going to basically lose interest. You're going to get depressed. So you have to have a positive mental image about yourself. And when bad things happen, you have to turn it around. And I know it's hard because I go through the same thing. We're all human. But you have to turn it around and think of the better things of life that has happened to you. You can't just dwell on the negative. If you just dwell on the negative, everything else is just going to be negative. So have a positive image about yourself. Language, and it could be like I've said before, you could have good language and you can have bad language. Bad language is negative. It will pull you down, but what I'm talking about is the language you say to yourself in your mind. We all do it. If something happens or you make a mistake, you put that thought in your head, oh, I'm no good, or I'm a loser, or whatever. Those things that you tell yourself, your mind remembers. You might forget consciously that you said them, but your subconscious remembers. And when anything bad happens again, those things come back into your mind. And so you need to watch the language that you tell yourself about yourself. And the third thing is your emotions. So everybody has the negative and positive emotions, but you need to have those good positive emotions to be able to have joy, have fun. And so those three things are key to have a positive image, positive language, and positive emotions about yourself. When you have those three things, your body and soul are in alignment with each other, that many things can happen. Many miracles can happen. You can go through many obstacles. But this is where it starts to get fun. So I'm just reading my notes here. One thing to keep in mind is everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody does stupid things, but this is where you cannot dwell in the past, but you have to look for the future. If you dwell in the past, those negative things are going to stay in your head. But when you forget about them and realize, I made a mistake, I need to change it, I need to move forward, that's when you start to look forward. And it could be looking with hope. It could just be have faith in something. But when you start to look in the future, that's when the positive things can start to happen if you let them. So don't dwell in the past, because you can't change the past, but you can change your future. Now, this is what I did this beforehand to get things a little done quicker, but you can see that I've made that little staircase, and sorry, I have some things on the back here. Let's do this. See, that didn't help much either. But anyway, so look at the staircase, and everybody sees this. You start down here, and then you have an obstacle, and you go up, and you accomplish it. You have another obstacle, you go up, and you accomplish it. But that actually isn't true for what I'm going to talk about, because you might have overcome that obstacle at that time, but that doesn't mean you're still going to have that obstacle come up in the future again. And when it does, that's when people get down and think, well, I can't do it, or I didn't do it the first time, so why should I keep trying? And this is where you need to think positive when bad things happen, because that obstacle might come up over and over and over in your life. But this is the fun part, is I just drew a road of happiness. If you can see, as you go up an obstacle, you might have a big dip. And then start to go up another obstacle and you go down even a little bit further. But if you notice, you're higher than what that down was there. So you're actually higher. You're going to have ups and downs throughout your whole life until you become what you want to become. And knowing that, and knowing that you can be happy with your future instead of dwelling in the past, you can overcome so many different obstacles, or even the same obstacle in different ways that are put in place. But I'm going to give you all some tools to be able to overcome these obstacles or challenges, or whatever you want to call them, or to get rid of those negative emotions. Now, I have a couple great mentors, and they are very, very dear to me, and I love them to death. So I'm going to use their examples a little bit, and their terminology that they use, because it's the best that I've ever heard. Number one, to get rid of emotions, is to slay the dragons. And if you really think of what I'm saying, slaying the dragons, it could be any negative thing out there. It could be have your negative thoughts. It could be negative images, negative emotions. It could be negative things that people say or do to you. So I'm going to say slay the dragons and get rid of those negative things. And a couple ways you can do it is a write and tear, or a write and burn. And what I mean by that is you'll get a piece of paper out, just a blank piece of paper, and write it, and just say, I feel betrayed because blah, 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 and just write and write and write until you can't write about it anymore, and just get those feelings out on paper. And then you can tear it up, flush it down the toilet, burn it. I go out and I burn mine. Just go to the fire pit, but watch it burn. Watch it go down the toilet, because that's a symbol in your mind that it's going away. Sorry, I'm going to get choked up, because this really does work, and it does help. I taught my daughter this, and the first time she tried it, she couldn't even describe the emotion she was feeling. So write down the negative things that you're feeling. But one thing you don't want to do is, if you're writing negative things that somebody has done to you or said to you, don't talk to that person about it. Don't put that negative stuff in their mind, because you're trying to get rid of it, not give it to somebody else. They don't want it. You don't want it. Just let it go. Another thing you can do is go talk to a tree. Of course, during the winter it's hard, but get out to nature. Go for a walk. Just go on a drive somewhere and just vent and let those things out, and don't take them back in. Just forget about them. And this really does work. The example I was given by my mentors is to write your fades, or do your fades. And what that means is every day of the week, you have something that you're going to write and burn about, or write and flush about. And Mondays is F, Tuesday is A, Wednesday D, Thursday E, Friday is S. Saturday, you're going to reflect on that week. Sunday, you're going to reflect on the coming week. And what that means is Monday, write about frustration. Tuesday, write about anger. What makes you angry? Wednesday, write about depression. What makes you depressed? Thursday is embarrassments. And Friday is sadness. If you can do each one of those, and of course I slack on it sometimes, it's hard to remember to do it. But do it at night, and just you'll feel so much better, especially when you go to bed and wake up in the morning. So those are a couple things to help get rid of the negativity in your mind. If there's things in your mind about yourself, write it down and watch it burn, or flush it, rip it up into small pieces. But you don't want to leave it in a garbage or somewhere that somebody can find it and read it, because those are your feelings you're trying to get away. You're trying to discard and never have them come back. But of course they will, and that's where this step comes into play. And when it comes back, write it again and do it again. When you do it so many times, your mind's going to start to think, maybe I don't want that. It's gone. It's going to be gone, and get rid of those feelings altogether. So, slay the dragons, do your fades, talk positive about yourself to yourself, see images, positive images about yourself, and have those positive emotions. You can accomplish so many things that you'll never think that you could accomplish. And that's where you can become anything you want to become. If you have a goal to become the President of the United States, put that on your vision board. But one thing to keep in mind, have it a reality that put on your vision board. You don't want to just say, I want to walk on the moon, because you're probably never going to walk on the moon. So have something that you know that you can accomplish and work towards those goals. Become happy and become what you want to become. And that's I guess, my lesson today on becoming what you want to become and getting rid of negative things when bad things happen. So turn things around, make good things happen, and become what you want to become. So see you next time, everybody.